for me because it's something I'd worked towards. And I think as professionals and as parents, there's not as many tasks that you can kind of set your mind to work on personally within yourself as a project on yourself and of yourself, and then see come to fruition. So much is about pouring into your career or your family or, the laundry pile. So us being able to pour within me and kind of fuel appropriately and work out appropriately and have that as something that was mine was really, really cool, and really enfranchising.
All right, Oxfit Nation, welcome to our Oxfit Moms podcast today, where I'm going to be featuring a client that I've worked with this fall. She has followed the coaching program that we have here at Oxfit and specifically worked with me over 8 weeks. And I can't wait to share her journey and just to hear it myself again. So she should be logging on right now.
Hi.
Yay! Hey, Laura.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Excited. I've never done this before. This is going to be great.
First podcast, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm feeling very famous already. So this is awesome.
You are. You're Oxfit mom famous.
Love that.
Grant Park mom famous. All of the things.
Big fan.
Laura, I have a really killer intro for you. So are you ready for it?
Let's do it. Let's bring it on.
All right. So, Oxfit Nation, today's guest is someone who truly embodies what it means to be a strong mom. I am just so excited to talk with her because she's such a badass mom. She's a neighborhood friend of mine. She is a fellow mom athlete and all-around boss lady. She's a mom of 2. She is a wife, a full-time leader, making an impact in the community through the awesome work that she does every day. And she's also been a part of the Oxfit Fit Fam for about 18 months.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that, but right.
Love that. Sorry. Go ahead.
But most recently, we've gotten the chance to work together through our personal coaching program. And that's why she's here today to really share a little bit about her journey. I'm so excited for all of you to hear her journey and for me to hear it again from the beginning, because she is a very inspiring woman, a mom that I'm really lucky to call a friend now. And so, yeah, welcome to the Oxfit podcast.
Thank you. I always get really kind of tingly and excited when you call me an athlete, because I was the girly who would sit down behind the bushes when we did the mile and hope that everyone laughed me. I just stand up and keep walking, or never really considered myself an athlete. Didn't run outside because I was embarrassed or whatever. So the idea that I can now in this phase of my life become an athlete that I've never felt like is really exciting. So that's my tangent on your intro, which was very lovely. Thank you.
That is so cool. I that is why I love your journey so much, just to see the belief in yourself that you've gained, from day one. And so let's talk back to when we first met at the playground in Grant Park.
Wow, and back in the day.
Yeah, what was that like, meeting me, and what were your thoughts, honestly, about knowing that I owned a gym and everything and was trying to get you to try it?
Well, you're so nice. And I felt I was so pregnant. I had 2 really hard pregnancies pretty close together. And I knew that you owned a gym, and I just moved to Grant Park, and I wanted to get involved and engaged. And I was like, it's coming, Lauren. I'm going to do it. I swear. I see you. I see your gym. You guys have this cool group. I would love to be a part, but not now. I'm heavily pregnant and barfing on the hour, and keep the faith in me. Please don't forget about me. Please remember that I want to do this. And so it was really nice to know that you were there when I needed, when I had the capacity to join. And, so it's just fun to get to know you and your family. And, I feel like I get to our little kids are kind of growing up together at the same time, but also we're able to on this mom journey, go hand in hand along together, in a different capacity, but also bring our families with us.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I still remember the first time I met you at the playground. I think Kieran was, 3 and Leo was 2, and Mia was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Baby. Yeah, and you just kind of found out you were pregnant, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like, not
Or maybe
to
you had been?
get you in trouble for your timeline, but Kieran's 3 now, and so, like, everyone was even younger. It was even harder.
Yeah. It's crazy
Because
how
I
time
think, you
flies.
know, Kieran's 3 now, Asher's 1.5, and so, yeah, I think the littles were little. I think she was, like, 2 and I was pregnant, and, yeah, it's so funny when people talk about this age. I have a lot of people at work saying, "Oh, man, you're in it." And I don't know what that means or is,
Yeah.
but we are in it, and we were in it then too. And so it's always really, I really look forward to going to the park over here in Grant Park, because I know I'll see some cool moms, and we'll be able to chat and, kind of yell nice things at each other over the swings, and, through running kids. So it is really nice, and meeting you was just such a stalwart of the community, and just a great light in our neighborhood. And so it's just so nice to meet you.
Yeah. Well, that's so nice of you to say. I knew instantly. I was like, she needs to be in our Oxfit Moms
We're gonna
community.
do
And
it.
so I know I
Mhm.
didn't let up, but I think it was worth it, right? So like you ended
So
up
worth it.
joining. You were 3-4 months postpartum with Asher, your baby.
Yep, I joined the week I started back to work after
Yeah.
mat leave. Um, and so it
What's
was
that
really nice
like?
to say,
Yeah.
I've had this time to work on myself and raise this baby up to, I think, 14 weeks, send him off to this lovely school. And now it's time to get it together. Now it's time to focus on the priority of my health, and not just kind of clinching to life with white knuckles and trying to survive a tough pregnancy. It's time to kind of like become
Mhm.
an adult again and take care of myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And what hesitations did you have, if any, around that time? And then
Oh,
yeah.
so many. I mean, not that it was scary or anything, but I have never considered myself an athlete. I have never really felt like I have um, a strong team body. I've always been athletic,
Yeah.
but I've never been an athlete, and I've
Mhm.
always kind of worried about that, as well as some, I mean, who among us didn't have body issues looking at what they called Jessica Simpson fat, or Nicole Richie, or, just
Yeah.
the time we grew up in was just so toxic when it comes to body image, that I'd never really kind of unpacked that and run at that head on. And
Mhm.
so being able to be around moms, and you guys really were great about meeting us where we are. And
Mhm.
so kind of going in there my first week, I was nervous, because I never considered myself an athlete. I'd never done really this kind of workout before. I've always kind of been a little kind of shy because of, what we were told we need to look like based on the 90s of it all,
Yeah.
2000s of it all. And so, there was a lot, it's heavy going in there. So I always try to be really nice to the first timers and help
Yeah.
them out, because there's a lot that people bring with them.
Yeah.
But,
Absolutely.
you kind of run straight through that, which is nice when you go.
So yeah, you started and didn't look back, and like
Mhm.
you haven't stopped since,
Been
right?
fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that you touch a little bit on like that athlete mentality, because that's something, that we really pride ourselves in with building the Oxfit Moms community, is that a lot of women and moms come to us and they don't see themselves as athletes, but that doesn't mean that athleticism and motherhood can't coexist together. And I feel like a lot of moms, especially yourself, it sounds like
Mhm.
you find that inner athlete and kind of redefine it in a way that surprises you, right? Like it's, being strong enough to carry a car seat and wrangle a screaming, crying toddler
Yes.
in the other arm, and like carry all the groceries and chuck them in the car, be able to fold up the stroller and get it in the trunk and do all of that and be like, yeah, I just did that. I didn't need any help. Like.
Oh, yeah, it absolutely makes me a better mom to feel like I can run around with my kids, I can lift my kids, I can, carry both of them home from the park all the way,
Yeah, you do it.
unless I'm sore, and then when I'm sore, I'm like, "Dang it, this is not like, this is not the point."
Yeah.
But
You're like, dang
otherwise,
it, Lauren, you pushed me a little too
this
hard
is
yesterday.
not this is wrong way, wrong way. Uh but I think that it's just made me a more confident mom too, which is nice because I know I can carry them and I know I can kind of beast mode my way
Yeah.
around. Should anything happen with the kids while I'm out and about, I could grab
Yeah.
them, run with them, carry them, throw them, toss them. That sounds weird, but
Literally.
you literally never know.
Sometimes they need to be tossed, you know?
Truly, just like a potato sack, two of them, but it's not hard because I do it every day.
Yeah, I love that. So you were a member, just a regular member of Oxfit Moms for a while, and that will get you in great shape, right? And I feel like most importantly for moms, it's a safe space for moms to be in where you can bond with other moms, feel comfortable showing up to a class in your body, like you touched on, all of the things moms in our age group have had to overcome,
Mhm.
and that sort of theme of skinny is sexy and not strong is sexy, which
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of been a roller coaster since the 80s
Mhm.
of what's in and what's not. But we grew up, like you said, in the era of Jessica Simpson and Britney Spears and
Yep.
like gosh, so many of them where it was just, the TRL music videos and all of that, where it was just all skinny girls, right? And then we become moms, our hormones start to change, our body changes, our hips get
Mhm.
wider, our stomach changes and gets a little maybe softer, and so yeah, I think the goal for Oxfit Moms is always to be a safe space for moms to show up in whatever season they are in, prepartum, pregnant or postpartum, and feel like you're in a space where you're not going to be judged, and whatever preconceptions you have about what strong looks like or what your body needs to look like you just show up that day, give us your best, and there's a group of women around you supporting you, right? so
Which
so like, yeah, how
Mhm.
was that for you as you got started, and you were coming, kind of twice a week for a while?
I was coming twice a week and I was kind of like easing my way in. I'm kind of a walk into the shallow end kind of girly, but
Yeah.
it was nice to meet everyone and kind of listen to the conversations going on around me where people are talking about their 15-year-old or their new baby or their the mom's wife's new baby or some kind of family unit that is
Yeah.
somewhere along the line. And so it really does feel like, you have people immediately postpartum, you have people who are pregnant in there, and then you also have people along the journey. So it feels like a very much a get in where you fit in situation, which is really nice because you can kind of fit in and share some of the ups and downs of raising these babies. So
Yeah.
it's been really nice. I started it 2 times a week, which is what I could kind of metabolize with my job and
Mhm.
having new kids and things. And now there's a point at which I realized that I had plateaued in kind of my personal journey and where I wanted to be. And my sister was like, "Well, why don't you just get on Ozempic?" Um, and not to say the O word or like, throw shade. I just didn't think that was the right move for me, but I knew I needed something that was gonna kind of take me to the next level. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people rely on different modes of getting to that next level. And I knew that that wasn't the right one for me, but I knew that, if I wanted to go to the next level, I was going to need to take action. I was going to need to do something. And I remember you were talking about the program and you'd been texting me about it. And that was kind of a sign to me that's like, well, I do need to do something. And that's not the thing I want to do. I want to do it though, in a way that is authentic to me and in a way that I think that will be beneficial for my journey. So that's kind of what kicked me towards the program. And then I started going 3 days a week. And I get really grumpy if I can't go 3 days a week. I can't you might have to miss me with 4 or 5 days, but we're trying. We're getting there. It's getting better.
Yeah. That's so cool. Well, yeah, I remember reaching out to you like several times over the past
Mhm.
really year. And selfishly, I just wanted to work with you because I always felt like we bonded, and I, really like appreciated you as a mom and the friendship that we had built in the gym. And I was just excited about the opportunity to help, to help you. And so, I had reached out, I feel like a couple times, and you were always like, yeah, that sounds good, but like maybe just,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
okay, Lauren, yeah,
Sure.
whatever, get back to you. But then finally you were like, yeah, you convinced yourself that you were ready or that you needed it or you wanted it or maybe you trusted me more. What was it that finally, made you say yes?
It was talking to my sister and having that conversation
Mm,
about, something needs to change. Something's got to give. I love this gym. I love what I'm doing, but I just need to step it up a notch. And realizing that I needed to do something. So it was either do the program or, do like a medical intervention, which frankly, I'm not a good fit for, because I don't need it.
yeah,
And that's, my personal thought there. But I just kind of wanted, it was kind of like when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. I mean,
yeah,
you've been appearing, which is nice, but so I knew you were there.
yeah,
But it really did kind of harken back to when we were first talking. I was like, I promise I'm going to come to the gym. I promise I'm going to come to the gym. It's going to happen. I'm going to come to the gym. But I was pregnant and then I was breastfeeding and, couch bound and exhausted. And
hmm,
then I finally did. And it felt like the program was very similar to that. It's like, I promise I'm going to do that eventually, and you're just really patient, and I know you're there when I'm ready. And I was just kind of finally ready to do it. I kind of felt like I'd mastered the basics of the Oxfit offerings and the movements and the motions, and I felt confident enough to take it to that next level.
yeah, amazing. Yeah, so then you were like, "Yes, I will meet with you and let's talk about my goals. I need to do this thing." So tell me about kind of like after that moment of commitment from you where you were like, "Yep," you had the conversation with your sister. We had a goal setting session. You were like, "I'm doing this thing." Like what was going through your head and how did the journey start for you?
Can I cuss on this podcast?
Yeah, we'll bleep it out.
Holy shit, what did I get into? Because you
Yeah.
were like, here's what we're doing. And I was like, oh, damn, we're doing this.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I just ordered a huge water bottle and I was like, let's go.
I'm
I
this girly.
Yeah, now this is my personality. But and and that's kind of part of my journey is I tried different things. I'd done the Whole 30 for January before I got till 11 days in, and then there was a snow day, and I was like, miss me with this shit. And so I
Mhm.
had a pizza and drink wine with my family because it's a snow day. So it was never very like I kind of understood generally what it was, but I never really had someone to talk to about it.
Yeah.
And so I kind of understood what
Mhm.
we were doing, but I think the most helpful thing was our ability to kind of chat about it because sometimes I get caught up in the details. It's like, well, can I do this? Or like, not can I, but is it advisable to do this? Or what do I do if I have pizza and wine on a snow day? I
Mhm.
don't just kind of keep going down that path. It's like, all right, well, that happened. And so we'll do something else tomorrow. And
Yeah.
so I'd never had that before. So I think that was a big differentiator is not just, I kind of understood generally what we were doing, but having the added benefit of a conversation and accountability and kindness. And that component was great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no, just talking through it with you right now brings me back to all of our video check-ins that we
Mm-hmm.
would do. For those that aren't aware of how we run like the 8-week coaching program, there is a sheet that Lara would record all of her meals in, and then we would upload weekly progress photos, and we would then record and upload a weekly video check-in that was usually guided with questions. But Lara would, of course, with the big personality that she has, kind of jump in and add all sorts of flavor. And I actually want to get to in a second some of the comments that you left in your tracking sheet because they're absolutely amazing and I feel like so relatable for people that will listen or are listening. But yeah, I remember you are a very intelligent woman, right? Like you've been, I know you say you don't call yourself an athlete, but you are athletic and you've worked out at gyms in the past and you've done Whole 30 and things before, but maybe things that weren't sustainable. You never
Yeah.
really successfully like, created a lifestyle approach to it that you were able to continue with. And I think really working with you, that was our goal, right? Was to build something that felt sustainable, felt like a lifestyle approach, felt mindful, but strict enough that like you saw results, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
so you came in with a lot of great knowledge. and always kind of challenged like the approach and the next phase of things, which I thought was really, really great. It was so great to work with a client that just took it so seriously, wanted to know the why behind all of it.
Mm,
And I remember, so like the first 4 weeks you recorded everything, we followed like a paleo style approach to eating, just focusing on whole foods, cutting out sugar, cutting out alcohol as much as possible without losing our minds. And, we talked a lot about building a framework around like when you do go, you have a lot of work events and lots of
mm-hmm,
dinners out with family and friends. Like, how can you approach those, still enjoy them,
mm,
but not, kill your results and set yourself back on a total binge for a week after? So like, yeah, talk about like the framework that you got out of it a little bit.
absolutely. I think the word that you really hit on, which is what I was looking for, is lifestyle.
Mhm.
When you're out to look like Paris Hilton, you don't do it in a healthy way always.
Mhm.
And so kind of growing up in that ethos and just kind of doing it for the look of it, I realized that that wasn't sustainable or healthy, and I wanted a lifestyle that was sustainable and not just for me, but for my whole family.
Mm.
And that I think was a huge part of why it worked. Actually, so I was looking through the comments yesterday too, and they're pretty hilarious. Things like I don't own a human scale, or like why potatoes though.
You would
Um,
have these rants and like you would leave them on the sheet for me to see. It was so funny.
Sorry, but you were so nice about it. Obviously, I didn't answer any of the questions in our video check-in. I just talked about it. But I think one thing that's really stuck with me is that lifestyle.
Mm.
And I think that that also kind of pulls in what you were talking about from my comments, is that my comments were things like, I have another work lunch, or why
Mhm.
are there parties every dang weekend, or
Mhm.
things like that. And being able to go to back to kind of a lifestyle touchstone has been really helpful. So for example, there was a thing last night and everyone had pasta. And so I had pasta, but I knew that was going to happen. And so I had planned all day for that. So I already went in and logged my macros in a way that we had discussed. And I'd planned the day out.
Yeah.
And I feel fine about it. I feel great. It was delicious. I'm not worried
Yeah.
about it. Whereas
Amazing.
before, I might have been beating myself up about it, or it would have been stressful, or I would have kind of been racked with confusion about
Mm.
carbs. And so I think that framework and that lifestyle, like we're going to have a salmon Caesar salad tonight. And I went to the gym today and we're just going to keep on moving. And it was delicious and it's okay. And so giving me a framework for a lifestyle has also changed my mentality about what is worth thinking about and what's worth prioritizing, what isn't, and
Yeah.
what's important. And so that's been really helpful as well, while keeping kind of an athlete's sensibility of trying to get stronger and fitter. So I think that that's something that has been really sustainable for me
Yeah.
since finishing the program.
That's so cool. I love that. You're not out of shape because you're lazy. You're exhausted because you've been putting everyone else first. The random workout squeezed between school pickup and bedtime, the diet you start Monday morning and abandon by Thursday when someone's sick, the I'll get back to it promise you make yourself again and again. Not because you don't care about your health, but because nothing fits your actual life. So you get a few good weeks in. Then it all falls apart the moment a kid needs you, work gets crazy, or you're just too damn tired to think about meal prep. This is where OxFit's coaching program comes in. This isn't another 8-week boot camp or Instagram workout you can't keep up with. It's a real plan, training that works around your schedule, nutrition that doesn't require cooking 3 separate meals, and a coach who gets that some weeks you're just in survival mode. We help you lose the baby weight, build back the strength you miss, and finally feel like you again. You don't need more guilt. You don't need another supplement gathering dust in your pantry. And you don't need to wait until the kids are older or life calms down. You need a system that bends without breaking. And you need a coach who won't let you disappear on yourself. OxFit coaching helps you build a strong body and a strong mind, so taking care of yourself isn't something you keep restarting.
It's just what you do. Join OxFit and let this be the last time you put yourself at the bottom of the list.
Okay, I want to run down some of your comments really quick, and then we're going to
Oh,
pick back
good.
up. Yeah, so listen to this journey, right? Okay, so it starts with, and these are only some, these are like just a few. So it starts with family in town is hard. Every damn weekend there's a party.
What?
This is one of my favorites. Soy is in everything Asian. That sucks.
I love Asian food.
I'm getting hungry at 5 o'clock. Eating out for work is annoying. I'm realizing how much eating I do around my job. Dot, dot, dot. Interesting. I feel like that was like an enlightening moment for you. I'm not that hungry anymore. And then at week 6, you write, I'm getting the hang of this.
Yeah. No,
So,
you really just go on a journey there.
yeah, right. And those are just a few of them. And like that
Yeah.
was just in one of the lines, like where you record your food, and at the end there's like some space. And so yeah. So yeah, talk about a little bit about the roller coaster, because like I specifically remember like week 4, week 5, sort of halfway through, you sort of started to feel like, oh man, I saw some really good results early on. And now
Yeah.
this is getting hard. And like, I don't know if this is actually going to work for me. Like, what was that like for you?
Well, sorry, I just real quick have memories of just kind of hoovering my children's dinner leftovers with my face before bedtime, those like little crusts of things, and you're just like, I am so hungry, but really kind of playing around with it has worked. Again, I was so skeptical of logging my macros, but that's been really helpful as someone who, my fitness pal has been slightly problematic in the past. Having a focus on the macros and a focus on kind of how the structure is has been really helpful. And you introduced me to that. But back to your question, gosh, that middle, because you do hit a plateau. It's what kicked me up to the program as well. It's very often you're making great progress and then your body kind of catches up and you're not pushing yourself because you've found a comfortable place, because we have so much going on that you can't constantly be pushing yourself. There's got to be some kind of comfortable places in your journey, but you can settle into those places too easily, and then that I think will help you plateau.
Yeah.
And so considering other options and being able to talk to you really helped me pull out of that. And I think it's also, I mean, as a woman, we talked about how weight fluctuates and, kind of cycles throughout the month and things like that. So I think it's having a place to talk to you about the fact that it's not perfect, where I'm not right now. Today is not the day that I feel like I'm, the best human and athlete I've ever been. And that was okay. And so continuing to kind of trust the process and having paid for the process, it's like, girl, you paid for it. We better do it. You better do it.
Yeah.
So I think that was helpful too.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. It was so cool to see you like push through that portion, because that is where it gets really hard. You see quick results in like the first couple weeks because your body started to rid its inflammation. You literally detoxed your body. You stopped eating sugar, right? So your blood sugar levels had started to stabilize, and your body was now using fat for energy and burning fat, right? And it felt good. It was sort of in a homeostasis point where it was like, okay, cool, I'm getting used to now using good quality food for energy. And it needed to get used to that a little bit in order for the next like stage of results and progress to hit. And it is a point where a lot of people can, like you said, kind of fall into a position where, oh, I'm not maybe seeing great results every week right now, and I'm going to stay in my comfort zone and not keep pushing, to get through to the next layer of results. But you trusted the process, you kept pushing, and then you unlocked really the next level of results. And that was so cool for me as a coach to see you really take the program so seriously and just trust the process. So like next level results, like we were able to get to now you understanding a little bit more about fueling around your workouts. So, and eating more protein and like really paying attention to like you already sort of mentioned, how many protein, carbs, and fats were on your plate at every meal, right? And that's like advanced stuff. Like I don't always get to that with every client. So kudos to you. But yeah, how did it feel when we started adding a little bit more protein, a little bit more fuel to like your early morning before you'd work out, like right after you'd work out, you were starting to take some more supplements, like, that inner athlete and badass mom, right? Fitness athlete mom is starting to come out more and more at the back half of the program. Like, how was that for you?
It was awesome. But I mean, to comment on what you said earlier, I think that part of what helped me is the fact that the framework also allows for creativity.
Mm.
And so both during our workout, so you can, if you want to scale up or scale down a movement, you can do that. But within the food as well, it's like, well, you can still do these things just in a different way. And I think the creativity and kind of we talked a lot about how it's an art and a science.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was really kind of fun about it once you got the hang of it. So even if you were plateauing, trying to figure out, okay, well, I'm not feeling the best about my progress today, but what's an interesting way I can stay within this framework tonight for dinner? Or what's a way I can try to work towards my jump roping goal today? And so kind of making it a more of a holistic approach is good.
Yeah.
And now I forgot your question.
Love that. Yeah, no, it's so good. I mean, the gains that you got inside the gym because you had started,
Yep.
eating more around your workout. You started seeing more, like you had more energy because you started shifting towards more like L2 level, workouts and modifications. Like even on the rig, you were starting to do, more gymnastic movements and less core marches and dead bugs and stuff like that. So how did finding the inner athlete for you feel, and like all of the strength gains you got with your bench press and your power clean, and
it's really exciting. It's so fun. I think your earlier question about how did it feel to add more protein, I just remembered. I think it did go hand in hand with that. And I think I did see a big level up when I did the program because I was taking it all seriously. And, you pointed out that you're fueling your body appropriately for what you're doing. And I'd never kind of considered that. It had always been kind of either vaguely about counting calories in my life. And that really wasn't serving me ever, but anymore, especially. And so, being able to lean into an approach that was going to make my body stronger and then seeing that actually play out, seeing that I can like now bench press over 100 pounds. And that, I mean, like the day I kind of broke through that was a really exciting day and a really fun day for me. Cause it's something I had worked towards. And I think as professionals and as parents, there's not as many tasks that you can kind of set your mind to work on personally within yourself as a project on yourself and of yourself, and then see come to fruition. So much is about pouring into your career or your family or, the laundry pile. So being able to pour within me and kind of fuel appropriately and work out appropriately and have that as something that was mine was really, really cool and really enfranchising.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's such a good lead into like, just as a mom, like it's hard initially in this journey, finding that hour. And sometimes you feel guilty taking that hour out of your day away from your husband, away from your job, away from your kids, away from friends, family, whatever it is, right? It's an hour that we don't have many hours in the day, right? And a lot of those hours are going to everyone else but us. But how does it feel now prioritizing 3 hours a week? Like you went from 2 to 3, and like what's the knock-on effect in your day-to-day?
It's amazing. I mean, I still actually sometimes have to log on in the evening to catch up on things I didn't do if I'm in the mom's class. But it's worth it. It's so worth it. Because I'm taking that hour for me. Sometimes I feel bad because I'm not kind of nicer or chattier after class because I'm like sweating. People are emailing me. I gotta like get back to my normal life. But it's very worth it. I think that coming more often and then coming on weekends will certainly be one of those things where it's like, I'm coming. I swear I'm coming, just not right now. And so eventually I think I'll be able to up it. But the way it feels now is really good. And when I hit that plateau, I know I can come back for more.
Yeah.
And that's really nice. I think that'll keep me engaged in this journey instead of kind of wandering off and finding a different workout, which, you know, we've all kind of cycled through different things, kickboxing, Peloton, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the kind of lifestyle effect and the holistic effect and the creativity within this framework is really helpful to keep me coming and then wanting more, but without burning out.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. So if you could summarize, like, how do you feel? How does your body feel? Like, what did you, gain today
Strong.
that you didn't
Yeah,
have
I
a
feel
week ago?
strong.
You feel
Yeah, I
strong.
mean, slightly sore if we're like right now, like right that one right there. I could probably use a stretch or two.
Yeah.
But I think that I feel strong and competent. I think I told Amanda Evans at the gym and Christy that I was at work. We were hauling a box of tablets to give to a children's nonprofit. We were donating them, and it was a big box. And everyone was like, "Oh no, we need to get a man. Let's get a man to lift the box." And I was like, "No, I got it. I lift heavy." And they're like, "Okay." So it's like it's nice to have a place where people understand that like I do lift heavy and we can carry big things and
Totally.
you know, and so walking through the world with the idea that like I can lift a box of things without needing the security guard
Yeah.
feels really good. And so you move through the world in a different way when that's your
Absolutely.
reality.
That is
Uh,
so cool. That's probably such a
mhm.
proud moment getting to do that, right? Like, I feel
Yeah.
like it's such a proud moment when, men on the airplane ask, like, "Can I help get your suitcase in the overhead bin?" And I'm
Yeah,
like,
you're like,
"I got
nope.
it.
Whoop. Yep.
I got it, and I could probably lift you up there too." Like,
Exactly. Don't mind if I do. I
nice to
just
know
love.
chivalry still exists a little bit. So,
Yeah, yeah,
not knocking the guy that asked, but it's cool to be like, "Nah, I'm cool. I got it."
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that that's one thing that I really value about the community. Maybe this is one of your questions for later, but I can't help it. I love these people so much. I love the ethos of cheering each other on, no matter whether you know, you're trying to bench the bar or you're huge beastly like 150 whatever for someone who's tiny. It's just so fun. I adore Whitney who I don't remember what she did, but I think she like deadlifted the weight of her husband and I think it was the best moment in all of our day.
Yeah.
We were all just
Very
like
believable there.
thrilled. And it was just so fun and just such a good kind of community to have within me. And so when I do walk in the world, I feel strong, I feel confident, and I also feel like this group of people is kind of on this journey as well because not every woman unfortunately sees the value of being strong or
Mhm.
fit. And so having a community that gets it is really
Yeah.
nice as well
Yeah.
and just awesome people.
It's so cool. Yeah. I'm so glad that that's how you feel about it because when it was created years ago, back in, gosh, 2020 or so, um, it went from two people, like literally, I think
Wow, that's so funny.
Margaret, Amanda, Katie, um, yeah, and maybe one other were coming, and it was like twice a week, and we were all in like kind of similar stages of motherhood, but now it's like every day, A15,
Mm-hmm.
there's sometimes 25 moms,
Yeah.
women, men, dads, whatever, all are welcome. But it was created as a safe space for moms in whatever journey of motherhood that they were in. To feel comfortable to come in, and it is so cool to have grown so big because now we've got people that are pregnant, people that maybe want to get pregnant, people that are going through miscarriages that feel comfortable
Mm-hmm.
coming in and talking about it, or women that
Yeah.
are trying to get pregnant on IVF that are struggling and have a friend in class that's also experiencing the same thing. So yeah, it's it is a space for all, and it is super cool to see, like you mentioned, that there could be a badass coach woman like Whitney deadlifting an insane amount of weight, but then as soon as she's done hitting a crazy PR, she's next to the brand new mom that's
Yep.
lifting the empty bar, like cheering her
Cheering for all
on
of them.
just as
Mm-hmm.
loud. So yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll go to sometimes my schedule just doesn't line up and I will end up going to like a noon class. I'm like, I'm sorry, you want me to talk to men? I'm not talking to men when I work out. What is this? Who are you, sir? I'm sure you're lovely, but don't talk to me. I'm here for
Yeah,
men.
and it's right. Our men are lovely, like you say, but like
They're so nice. They're
something
so
about working out next to a baddie mom, that's just
yeah, it's fun.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So now, you've taken a little break from working with me in the coaching program. You have maintained amazing results. And let's just run through these real quick. I know we talked about kind of some of the intangibles and stuff, but like you lost 4.5 inches, you lost like 10 pounds of fat. And you were averaging 2 workouts a week. You went to 3 workouts a week, and then all of your lifts went up. So like you got fitter, you got faster, added muscle, and lost some weight and feel more confident in your clothes. And now, you've sustained those results. You have some big goals for 2026, and we're going to work together again.
Yay! I think part of it too is I made a pact with a good friend of mine who also has kids the same age, and it's like, all right, well, we're gonna have bodies that we're like proud of sitting in, living in, habitating by the time we're 40. And
Okay.
I turned 39 in August, or sorry, gosh, February. That's my birthday, February. And I think that this will be like a good way to run at that and say, like, all right, let's go. I'm hoping it'll be not unsustainable. It's not a deadline, but it's like, it's motivation for us to look at this next decade with like, let's go.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. So enter your 40th being the fittest
Let's
you've ever
go.
been. And
Mhm.
you have some big goals. Like you might be doing beach brawl in the
Girl,
spring.
you have some big goals for
Ev-
me.
Hey, you tell me that you're
You're
interested.
right. You're right.
That's
I
it.
did.
That's
I
it.
did. I'm
You
so
also
I'm so
mentioned
shy about it.
triathlon. You
No, that
also
is actually triathlon would be fun. I once again I have no idea what I'm getting into. So,
trust
let's
the
go.
process, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay. Yeah, so I mean it'll be fun. We'll just kind of see where the road takes us. It hasn't steered me wrong yet. I will say that. So kind of like, toddling along after you has not like steered me wrong yet. So I guess we're just gonna keep doing this.
Love it. Well, yeah, we're going to have a goal setting session here soon just to
Mhm.
revisit where we finished off our last coaching program and, what we really want to work on in the next 12 weeks, starting in the first week of January, with the idea of getting Laura even stronger, and fitter than she already is. So, Laura, I do want to ask you one more question.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so if there was another mom that came up to you and was considering working with me, considering the coaching program, what would you say to them?
Do it. Totally do it. And trust the process because it works. I don't know why. You know why. That's your job. Um, Mine is to really lean into it and get creative within the framework. Allow yourself to consider the lifestyle as something that is sustainable and helpful long term, and just do it.
Amazing. Just do it. Okay.
Yeah.
One more. If you could describe the program in like one sentence, what would you say?
I would say it is liberating and fun if you make it liberating and fun.
Love that.
That's
Awesome. That's so
that's the
cool.
move. I think that's if it's something that you want to do, approach it with a whole heart and a whole head and whole hands, and it'll be so worth it.
Yeah, I love that. We had a good time. We're going to continue to have a good time. It has been an absolute honor working with you, and I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited to work with you again. And thank you so much for joining me and sharing your story today.
Absolutely, absolutely. I really appreciate it, and look forward to doing this, girl. Now I gotta go look up pictures of beach brawl. What have I gotten myself into?
See, don't count
All
it
right.
out. I know it. All right, we're doing
Okay.
it.
All right, let's
Thanks,
go.
Laura.
Thank you.
Bye.